The Airbus A321XLR has been said to become one of the most game-changing aircraft in the middle of the aviation market. Many massive orders of the type have come from some of the largest airlines in the world. But looking into the future, which airlines that haven't already ordered the XLR might end up ordering it in the future? In this video, I'm going to go over just that, so stay tuned. Before I dive into this video, please consider subscribing to my channel if you're interested in aviation content. We're so close to 700 subscribers, so make sure to help me get there by the end of this month. Also, if you're at all interested in flight simulation content, including Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, make sure to go check out my second channel, Avid Flight Simulation. The A321XLR is set to become a game-changing aircraft, with wide-body abilities and range, yet the economics and fuel efficiency of a single aisle. The XLR will replace in many airlines fleets aging 750 and 767s. While the A321 may not be a perfect alternative with no other aircraft from Boeing, it is the best option if airlines want to modernize their fleets. Before we dive into some airlines that might be ordering the type soon, which major airlines have already ordered it? Well, for example, airlines like American with 50 orders, United with 50 orders as well, and on the other side of the world, Qantas with 37. But let's look at some other airlines that have aging middle-of-the-market aircraft in their fleet. For example, Delta. Delta Airlines has a massive fleet of 757 and 767s, which are getting pretty old. So could Delta order the A321XLR? Well, it's definitely a possibility, as Boeing has yet to produce a replacement to either of these aircraft. Delta has been reported to consider the aircraft in a couple of years if no other replacement is given by Boeing at that time. There is a factor to consider, however, that is the fact that some of these 767s may be already getting replaced through the carrier's orders for the A330neo. While these two aircraft may be very different in some areas, the A330 can definitely be seen as a replacement for some of the 767-300ERs that will be leaving Delta's fleet in the next few years. However, that still leaves a massive amount of 757s, over 100 that they still operate. So I believe if Boeing doesn't come up with a middle-of-the-market solution in the next 5 years or so, Delta may very well turn to the A321XLR as a 757 replacement in their fleet. For this next and last airline, let's turn to Europe, to France with Air France. Air France has reportedly already done studies on both the A321LR and A321XLR, but where would the XLR potentially fit in their own fleet? Well, Air France does currently operate the A321ceo in their current fleet, and an A321XLR or LR order could be seen as an upgrade to their current fleet. They also do operate the A330-200, but the XLR does have less range, while the capacity would be quite similar. But in the future, as Air France wants itself to become one of the leaders of airlines operating a very fuel-efficient fleet, using the XLR could be an option in the future for their fleet. So, could Air France operate the XLR? Well, it is definitely a possibility, and Air France has considered it at least in theory. Whether or not there is a need for the aircraft in their fleet is however questionable, as there is not a direct aircraft the XLR could replace. But looking into the future, Air France could break into a new segment with an XLR order, maybe even addressing new markets the carrier hasn't covered before. So in conclusion, which airline is more likely to consider the A321XLR? Well, Delta will be needing a direct replacement for its 757s in the next few years, so them considering the XLR as a potential order seems the most likely to happen in the near future. The XLR looks like it could definitely work in Delta's fleet, and if they do end up ordering it, would have all three big American airlines operating the type. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you'd like me to do this with another aircraft, feel free to put them down in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video at all, do consider giving it a like. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.